we wouldn't wish you to be the last person to leave. We would want to welcome you in advance and to be with us. That is just a formal invitation.
That I did not meet the Right Honourable Speaker in Parliament. We met way time back, probably for more than 18 years, as somebody had known. At one time, she was blue and we were in the trenches, and I know she has no apologies for formerly being a blue. And along the way, the sun shone upon her and she became yellowish,
The principal role of the leader of the opposition is to keep the government in check. By God's grace, I will execute that mandate effectively.
As long as the checks and balances are for the common interest of the people of Uganda that we all represent, that is a welcome idea. We would wish to welcome that.
Young as he is, but he's very reasonable. And he deserves our support so that we continue the duty we have started, both as NUP, a very young party, but also as the opposition in our quest.
Regardless of the political party you belong to, when you go to a health center and there's no doctor to attend to you or no medicine, you will suffer. If you're driving on bad roads because either the money has been absquatulated or whatever the case might be, regardless of the political party you belong to, poor service delivery will affect you. So my hope is that I'll get the support of the entire House indeed.
Say something and then hand over. And can I also invite Honorable Ssenyonyi Joel to come and take up this seat. What's wrong with you?
Much obliged, Right Honourable Speaker. First of all, a happy new year to everyone here. To take this singular honor, to initially thank the people of Nyendo Mukungwe who brought me to the fore to be at the service of country and made my party recognize my capabilities and humble abilities to serve as a team leader over the last 2.5 years. Honourable Speaker. I remain eternally grateful for being allowed to offer myself for service to this great country. Right Honourable Speaker, I'd like also in the same breath to thank you and the Right Honourable Deputy Speaker for the immense cooperation we have had as leaders in this House to be able to steer the House this far with so many challenges, pitfalls, but with the gusto to carry on even when things look tough sometimes. That's the essence of leadership, Right Honourable Speaker. I thank you so much, and the Deputy Speaker in absence, for what we've been able to do as leaders in this House. Allow me to also thank immensely colleagues across from my side and across the aisle for according me space and the opportunity to speak to them, sometimes in a tough way. And I know that sometimes I've stepped on toes. But I never set out to be personal in any way. I've been at the service of the country. And if anybody felt personally offended, I take this occasion to apologize to whoever felt personally offended by my approach. But I always set out to do the best for the country. Right Honourable Speaker, I felt at this moment that probably you allowed me an extra minute to inform the House that I did not meet the Right Honourable Speaker in Parliament. we met way time back when she was still teaching at MOOBS. In fact, at one time, she was seconded by MOOBS to teach in my college. So you can easily say I once signed her paycheck. So we are not meeting in the House as a speaker, probably for more than 18 years, as somebody had known. At one time, she was blue and we were in the trenches, and I know she has no apologies for formerly being a blue. And along the way, the sun shone upon her hand, she became yellowish. You see, that is the beauty of freedom of choice. And all of us, wherever we are and stand, must respect the choices people make. And when they make choices, those choices must be for the service of common good. That should be well understood in no uncertain terms. I respect the right honorable speaker because she made her choice. And then see where she is. That was her choice, and I respect that choice. My only call to her is to use that choice to serve common good. Secondly, right honorable speaker, with your indulgence, I neither met the deputy speaker here. You know, he was my student of politics. He was a young man, and I was a senior in the field. Him and others used to get my tutorage when he was still a blue, and we worked well. When he chose to cross the blue line and became a yellow, that was his choice as an adult. So we shared a lot then, and the two have my immense respect as leaders of the House. I am bringing this out to every one of us to understand that we occupy this public space for a purpose. And that purpose must not be for the sake of it, but to change the trajectory of this one country called home. And when we are members of parliament, then that space is even more distinct because the call for duty is beyond the ordinary. And we must be here and look at each other from both sides of the aisle as servants of the people. And at all times, we must invite common good to prevail. Right honorable Speaker, I would like to appeal to the House to afford my successor the same support so that common good is served. The Honorable Joel Ssenyonyi, young as he is, but he's very reasonable. And he deserves our support so that we continue the duty we have started, both as NUP, a very young party, but also as the opposition in our quest to see a better tomorrow for our children and for posterity. So that when history books are written, they will have space to say they met in the House, they were different, they opined differently, but they converged to the center to put forward common good. That should be act in the history of our work. Right honorable Speaker, over the last few days, I've been reading a small book written by Hemin Sumini, titled The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. Okay. It's a good title. The things you can see only when you slow down. Sometimes the train is so fast that you can mistake a tree for an animal, that you need to step on the pedal, the middle pedal, to see your direction and the trajectory of the nation. I want to invite every one of us to look for that copy and read it. So sometimes We need to slow down and understand better our surroundings. Maybe some of us are so fast, and therefore we lose sight of what matters. So we need to really look out for our surroundings and understand better where we need to go. To my young brother, Joel, I'll look for my copy of a book titled How to Hug a Porcupine. How to Hug a Porcupine. It was edited by Dr. Debbie Ellis. It's very good reading. You know, you will get in your position.
Honorable members, he did not say concubine. That's why you're laughing.
I said a porcupine. Porcupine. Oh, do people here allowed to hug concubines? I said porcupine. Thank you, Attorney Speaker, for correcting them. They were going to look for a title that was not on how to find space to hug porcupines. Porcupines, by their nature, are difficult people, but they are part of life. You cannot change a difficult person, but set boundaries. Communicate effectively that you understood. Remember, you're not alone. And where you get space, celebrate your successes. President Speaker, finally, I'm indebted to the technical team we have worked with as the opposition in Parliament. It has technically backstopped us to work better. I hope my successor will take benefit of that too, so that humanity is served while we are in occupation of this humble but not eternal space. I thank you for God and my country.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, LOP. Honorable members, we want to thank you, Honorable LOP, former LOP, my commissioner now. You're now my commissioner and my staff. And we don't regret, me and the Deputy Speaker, we don't regret being your friends. My party, you don't choose for me who my friends are. I will work with my friends, like Honorable Segona is my dad. I will work with them, and even if we differ politically, but we'll work together for the good of humanity. And you did a good job as LOP. And this country will forever be indebted to you. I want to welcome the LOP to come and give his maiden speech. LOP, you're welcome.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and members. Allow me. I want to take this opportunity, firstly, to salute the Right Honorable Gov't Mpuuga for his service and for his leadership. He's led us under difficult circumstances, but he managed to remain composed and to lead us through those very difficult times. And so I salute you, sir. I am lucky that we'll continue working together. So there's a lot that I'll be connecting with you and learning from you and the other colleagues for us to be able to do this work. Right Honourable Speaker and members, Rule 14.1 of our Rules of Procedure provides that the principal role of the Leader of the Opposition is to keep the government in check. By God's grace, I will execute that mandate effectively. And my hope is that I will get support from this House, not just my colleagues on this side, but across to do this work. Because you see, keeping the government in check is to the benefit of all of us here and the people that we represent. Because when we are pushing back against things like corruption, when we are ensuring there is service delivery, when we are ensuring that there is value for taxpayers' money, it's not for the good of just the opposition, it's for all of us. Because regardless of the political party you belong to, when you go to a health center and there's no doctor to attend to you or no medicine, you will suffer. If you're driving on bad roads because either the money has been absquatulated or whatever the case might be, regardless of the political party you belong to, poor service delivery will affect you. So my hope is that I'll get the support of the entire House, indeed, in doing this work of keeping the government in check. And so I believe we shall be able to agree on a couple of things. In as far as keeping the government in check is concerned, I want to appeal that where we disagree, and indeed, we are going to have numerous opportunities to disagree. I hope that we can disagree respectfully, and that there gets to be space to disagree and for divergent views. But otherwise, I look forward to working with everybody to serve the people of Uganda. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and members.
Thank you. Honourable member, thank you so much. This morning, we happen to have received a reports from the Auditor General. And these reports belong to the Leader of Opposition, and which report that there was an issue of value for money, of the monies that we appropriate in this House. They should be able to do scrutiny of this money and give a feedback to this House. So don't misunderstand his government.
Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Resistance Movement government, we wish to extend our appreciation to the Honorable Gov't Mpuuga for exercising the roles and responsibilities of the Leader of the Opposition in Parliament for the last 2.5 years with precision and excellence. Your tour of duty came to an end, but we want to say thank you for all the clinical moments that we had in our networking, in our meetings, in execution of the different roles and responsibilities, much as we differ in terms of our political ideologies. And I want on a very lighter note, because you confessed, it is on record, how you came to know the Right Honourable Speaker and the Right Honourable Deputy Speaker, who are now serving on this side. You were with them in blue, but now they're in yellow. Just like that adage, that they came for the Catholic, I said, I am not one of them. And when they came for me alone, there was no one left to speak for me. Now that you are two important comrades and friends in blue are where they are, we wouldn't wish you to be the last person to leave. We would want to welcome you in advance and to be with us. That is just a formal invitation. To the new leader, first of all, I also want to congratulate you. One thing that is identical with this parliament is that this parliament is an extremely young parliament. You can see the speaker, the deputy speaker, now the leader of opposition outgone, and the one in charge now, including the government chief whip. And I would want to agree with you that the primary role of the opposition that you are now leading for the last half of the 11th Parliament, January 2024 to May 2026, is to keep us in check. In fact, the opposition, I normally say, is like a mirror. It's like a mirror. As long as the checks and balances are for the common interest of the people of Uganda that we all represent, that is a welcome idea. We would wish to welcome that. It is your role. In fact, as you continue checking us, you make us deliver, and the people of Uganda will continue having faith in the national resistance movement. We thank you for that. But also be mindful, as a student of physics, that we were taught of Newton's 3 laws of motion. I normally love Newton's 3rd law of motion, which says that to every action, there is always an equal but opposite reaction. I beg to welcome you, my brother. Welcome aboard. Let's see how we take the country in the next 2.5 years. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I said it is for intellectual debates.